you ever stood just a few feet away from a woman you wanted to talk to and felt your mind go completely blank? Not because you are shy, not because you don't know how to speak, but because in that moment suddenly, everything feels like it matters too much. What you say, how you say it, how you stand, how fast you speak, how slow you breathe, and the pressure silently builds. If you have ever thought, what if I say the wrong thing? What if I come off as awkward? What if she immediately loses interest? Then this video is for you, because today I'm not going to give you tricks. Not lines, not scripts, not manipulative techniques. I'm going to show you how to start a conversation with a woman you just met in a way that feels natural, calm, confident, and emotionally grounded, and more importantly, in a way that makes her feel safe, relaxed, and curious in your presence. Before we begin, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and watch this till the very end. Because the final principle I will share with you quietly changes how women experience you forever. Now, let's begin. The biggest mistake men make before they even speak. Let me start with something uncomfortable. Most men do not fail at conversation. They fail before the conversation starts. They approach a woman with a goal, not connection, not curiosity, but outcome. They want a number. They want approval. They want validation. They want attraction to happen immediately. And the moment you walk toward a woman carrying an internal goal like that, your body communicates it. Your tone becomes slightly tense. Your smile becomes slightly forced. Your words become slightly rushed. Your energy becomes slightly needy. Women don't analyze this consciously. They feel it. This is the first secret you must understand. A conversation does not begin with words. It begins with emotional posture. If your emotional posture is, I hope she likes me, then everything you say will quietly orbit around that fear. But if your emotional posture is, I'm grounded in myself, I'm curious about her, and I'm okay no matter what happens, then your presence becomes different. Calmer, more stable, less reactive, more masculine. So before you ever open your mouth, ask yourself one question. Am I trying to impress, or am I simply ready to connect? The real purpose of your opening line. Here is another mistake. Men believe the opening line must be clever, funny, unique, memorable. But the purpose of your opening line is not to impress her. The purpose of your opening line is to make the interaction emotionally easy. That's it. Your job is not to stand out. Your job is to remove emotional friction. You want to make the moment feel normal, safe, unpressured. That is what lowers her nervous system. That is what opens conversation. That is what invites curiosity. So when you approach her, do not perform. Do not entertain. Do not audition. Simply enter the moment like a grounded human being. And here is how. How to approach her without creating pressure. Before you speak, slow down. Not in your words. In your body. Your walk should not rush. Your shoulders should not tighten. Your breathing should not shorten. Your eyes should not scan for reactions. You are not chasing. You are arriving. When you step into her space, respect her distance. You do not invade. You do not hover. You do not lean forward aggressively. You stand naturally. Open posture. Relaxed arms. Neutral face with a light smile. And then, you speak. Not loudly. Not quietly. Naturally. The simplest opening that works almost every time. Here is the truth most men don't want to accept. The best opening line is usually simple. Very simple. For example, hey, I just wanted to say hi. Or, hey, I saw you standing here and thought I'd come say hello. That's it. No trick. No performance. No story. Why does this work? Because it does not create pressure. It does not trap her into performing. It does not force humor. It does not test her. It simply opens a door. Confidence is not what you say. Confidence is how comfortable you are with simple words. Why honesty beats cleverness. There is something deeply attractive about emotional clarity, not emotional exposure. Clarity. When you say, I noticed you and wanted to meet you, you are not confessing love. You are expressing grounded interest. You are standing inside your intention without emotional urgency, and women respond to that far more than rehearsed charm. So if you want to say something honest, you can say, hey, I noticed you and thought you seemed interesting. I just wanted to introduce myself. That's enough. You do not need to justify. You do not need to entertain. You do not need to convince what to say immediately after she responds. Now here is where most men panic. They get the opening out. She replies, and suddenly their mind goes empty. This happens because you are still focused on yourself. You are monitoring. How am I doing? How am I being perceived? Is she impressed? The moment you turn your attention outward, conversation becomes easier. After she responds, you do not need to jump into flirting. You need to gently anchor the interaction in the present moment. Look around. What is happening right now? Where are you? What is she doing? What is unique about this moment? For example, is this your first time here? Or, are you waiting for someone or just taking a break? Or, so what brought you here today? These are not boring questions. They are grounding questions. They allow her to speak about something real, and they allow you to listen. Why listening creates more attraction than talking. Here is something most dating advice ignores. Attraction grows faster when a woman feels understood than when she feels entertained. Your job is not to be interesting. Your job is to be present. When she speaks, don't interrupt. Don't rush to reply. Don't prepare your next line. Listen fully. And when she finishes, reflect something back. For example, so you usually come here after work to relax? Or, that actually sounds like a pretty intense schedule. This does something powerful. It shows emotional intelligence. It shows awareness. It shows social maturity. And it quietly creates emotional safety. The tone that keeps her engaged. Your tone should be calm, not monotone. Not overly excited, calm curiosity. Relaxed interest. You are not trying to extract energy from her. You are offering emotional steadiness. This is extremely important. Many men become overly animated when nervous. They talk fast. They laugh too quickly. They lean in too much. They nod excessively. They try to show enthusiasm. But enthusiasm is not attractive when it feels like emotional hunger. Calmness is. How to flirt without becoming performative. Flirting is not teasing. Flirting is not joking constantly. Flirting is not exaggerating your personality. Flirting is emotional contrast. It is lightness mixed with grounded presence. For example, if she says she always overthinks things, you can gently smile and say, "That actually makes sense. You seem like someone who notices a lot." That is not a compliment. It is recognition. If she says she's bad at choosing restaurants, you can say, "So you're telling me I shouldn't trust you with important decisions?" Said calmly, with a soft smile. No performance. No exaggerated tone. Flirting becomes natural when you stop trying to create attraction and instead respond honestly to what she reveals. What to avoid at all costs in the first conversation. Do not overshare your problems. Do not complain. Do not explain your past relationships. Do not talk about loneliness. Do not talk about how hard dating is. Do not criticize other women. Do not try to show how different you are from other men. All of these signal emotional instability, not vulnerability. Instability. There is a difference. Why curiosity is more powerful than self-presentation. Most men enter a conversation trying to present themselves. Their job becomes show value, show confidence, show success, show personality. But conversation flows better when you become curious, not interrogative. Curious. You want to gently explore. How does she think? How does she see the world? What energizes her? What frustrates her? Not through direct heavy questions, but through natural expansion of what she already shares. If she mentions her work, ask what she enjoys about it. If she mentions travel, ask what surprised her the most. If she mentions a hobby, ask how she got into it. This builds emotional depth without pressure. The quiet psychology of emotional leadership. Here is something very important. When you start a conversation with a woman you just met, you are not leading by dominating. You are leading emotionally. You set the pace. You regulate the energy. You remain centered even if the moment becomes slightly awkward. And here is the truth. There will be moments of silence. Do not rush to fill them. Silence is not failure. Silence is emotional space. If you stay relaxed in silence, you communicate security. If you panic in silence, you communicate need. The way you hold silence matters more than the words you say before it. What to do when she seems reserved at first. Sometimes she will be polite but distant, not cold, reserved. This does not mean rejection. It means she is reading your emotional stability. So you do not push, you soften, you remain present, you stay light, you do not escalate too fast. You allow the conversation to breathe. When you stop trying to force engagement, engagement grows naturally. The moment you should begin creating emotional connection, once the conversation becomes comfortable, you can gently shift into emotional depth. Not personal trauma, not heavy confessions. Depth through perspective. For example, what do you usually look forward to the most in your week? Or, what kind of things make you feel recharged? These questions reveal values, energy, lifestyle, and they invite a more meaningful interaction without pressure. How to subtly express your interest. You do not need dramatic statements. You do not need compliments about her body. You do not need to declare attraction. You simply allow small signals of appreciation. For example, I like how relaxed you are when you talk about that. Or, you actually have a very calm way of explaining things. These are emotionally grounded compliments. They feel personal, not generic, not sexual, not performative. What if you feel nervous? Let me be honest with you. You will feel nervous. And that is okay. The goal is not to eliminate nervousness. The goal is to not let nervousness control your behavior. Do not fight it. Do not hide it. Just slow down. Breathe lower into your body. Speak slower than your mind. And remind yourself, you are not asking for anything. You are sharing a moment. The internal frame that changes everything. Here is a powerful reframe. You are not approaching to see if she likes you. You are meeting her to see how you feel around her. This shift removes emotional dependency instantly, and women feel that difference immediately. When and how to suggest continuing the connection. If the conversation flows, if there is ease, if there is mutual engagement, you do not wait forever. You gently propose continuation. For example, I've enjoyed talking to you. We should continue this another time. Or, would you like to grab coffee sometime and continue this conversation? You do not rush. You do not apologize. You do not over-explain. You simply ask calmly. If she says yes, great. If she hesitates, you stay relaxed. If she says no, you stay respectful. Your emotional composure after the answer is more attractive than the question itself. Why rejection does not damage your confidence. Rejection only damages confidence when your identity depends on outcomes. If you walk away grounded, kind, centered, you train your nervous system that connection does not equal survival, and that is how emotional confidence is built. The deeper truth about starting conversations. Most men think attraction begins when the conversation begins, but attraction often begins with how you enter the moment, with emotional steadiness, with self-sufficiency, with grounded presence. When a woman meets a man who is emotionally centered, not performing, not chasing, not rushing, not trying to impress, she feels something rare, relief. And relief is the foundation of attraction. Let me tell you the one principle that quietly changes everything. If you remember only one thing from this video, remember this. You do not start a powerful conversation by trying to be interesting. You start a powerful conversation by becoming emotionally stable in uncertainty. Your calmness becomes permission. Your groundedness becomes safety. Your presence becomes rare. When a man no longer needs emotional confirmation, his words slow down, his body relaxes, his reactions soften, and his energy becomes attractive without effort. A final reminder before you go. Starting a conversation with a woman you just met is not about confidence tricks. It's not about memorized openers you saw on some dating forum. It's not about psychological tactics designed to impress her in the first 30 seconds. And it's definitely not about control. It's about emotional leadership. It's about walking into that moment without emotional hunger, without that silent pressure of I hope she likes me, without the need for instant validation just to feel okay about yourself. Most men don't struggle with words. They struggle with energy. When you approach from a place of lack, she feels it. When you need her approval, she senses it. When your mood depends on how she responds, the dynamic is already unstable. But when you show up grounded, when you're comfortable whether the conversation lasts 2 minutes or 20, when you're okay even if she walks away, that's emotional leadership. You're not chasing a reaction. You're creating a calm space. You're not trying to force chemistry. You're allowing connection to grow naturally. And here's the shift most men never realize. Attraction isn't built through pressure. It's built through emotional safety and stability. When you're relaxed, she relaxes. When you're present, she opens up. When you're not trying to prove yourself, you become more interesting. Because confidence isn't loud, it's steady. It's the ability to stay centered whether she laughs at your joke or doesn't, whether she leans in or keeps her distance, whether she's interested or unsure. And when you learn to operate from that place, every interaction becomes lighter. You stop overanalyzing every word. You stop replaying the conversation in your head. You stop tying your worth to her response. Conversations become easier because you're no longer performing. And attraction? Attraction becomes a side effect of emotional stability, not something you chase, not something you manipulate, not something you try to engineer with lines, tactics, or subtle mind games, but something that naturally grows when a woman feels your grounded presence. Because presence is powerful, it's rare. And in a world full of men trying to impress, the man who is simply centered stands out without trying. So the next time you start a conversation, don't focus on impressing her. Don't measure every sentence. Don't chase the perfect response. Focus on leading your own emotions. Notice your breathing. Notice your posture. Notice whether you're seeking approval or simply sharing a moment. When you lead your emotions, you slow everything down internally. You stop reacting. You start responding. And that shift changes the entire dynamic. Because the man who controls his inner world never has to control anyone else. He doesn't need manipulation. He doesn't need pressure. He doesn't need to prove his worth. His stability speaks before he does. And when you operate from that place, conversations stop feeling like performances. They start feeling natural, effortless, real. If this video helped you see conversations differently, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and stay with me for more honest psychology that actually improves your relationships. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.